Yeah, another great question in terms of engaging culture we got a lot of was how do we as a church navigate human sexuality in the young generation from a biblical perspective? Identity's everything. Right there, being with middle and high schoolers, it's a huge topic on identity, LGBTQ plus issues. How do we handle that as a church?
Yeah. So this is an incredibly nuanced and sensitive conversation in
Yeah,
our culture that deserves so much time and conversation. So I'm going to keep the answer brief
yeah,
and point people to opportunities coming up where they can get a
great.
fuller answer from us. The brief answer is this. At Northeast, we are incredibly liberal with our love, but conservative with our theology. We are conserving the orthodox biblical sex ethic
Yep.
while trying to show the unconditional love of Jesus to as many people as we possibly can. One side of that, we're going to love everybody unconditionally, makes a certain group uncomfortable.
Yep.
The other side of that, we're going to conserve the traditional biblical sex ethic, makes another side of people uncomfortable with us. But we're okay with living in that nuanced space. One of our values is faithfulness to the truth.
That's right.
Even when it's unpopular, it's one of those areas that we're willing to inhabit. And we actually believe that the biblical sex ethic is what's ultimately good for you.
Yep.
It's how God designed us. So that's what we point people to. Now for more on all that I just said, one, our pastors are not afraid of this conversation. I would say that we have pastors having this conversation with people multiple times a week because it is such a pressing issue.
Right.
I know how many times I've had this conversation. So we're always willing to talk with you if this is something that's pressing in your life. This past fall and this upcoming spring, we've had parent trainings because we know how this is such a topic of conversation with the younger generation. We had a parent training on, what was it gender identity in the fall?
It was LGBT.
No, we said yes. So we
Or LGBT.
talked about human sexuality in the fall, and we're doing gender identity
Yes.
in the spring.
Yep.
And so if you're a parent and you want to talk about that, look out for that. Sign up for it. And then I think we're aiming for next summer. We're going to do a 4 to 5 week sermon series on human sexuality and all of these issues. Which, by the way, can I just say, the issue of sexual holiness is so much bigger than
That's
just
right.
LGBT
100%.
issues.
Yes.
You know,
Amen.
some of the issues that we're dealing with in terms of the sexual brokenness in our own lives and in our church have nothing to do with those. It has to do with pornography, or it has to do with broken families, or divorce, or body image issues. Like, some of those are ravishing people in our congregation far worse. So they all have to be talked about. And this coming up summer,
Good.
myself and I think Terrence, so we're gonna talk about that with the
Yeah.
church.